Making biscuits is one of my favorite things to do in the kitchen, and it's not really about the recipe because they're very simple. It's about the technique for creating lots of defined flaky layers. So today I will show you how to make what I think is the best buttermilk biscuit. This recipe only has a couple of ingredients. It starts with all-purpose flour, 3½ cups. Here at Bon Appétit in our test kitchen, we use a method called, it's like scoop and level, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. This helps give biscuits their rise in addition to the layers. Sugar doesn't really make these biscuits sweet, but it does help give them color, and I think a little bit of sweetness helps just kind of balance everything out. And now finally, I have buttermilk in these biscuits, which is an acid, and so to react with the acid, I include just a little bit of baking soda. That's all the dry ingredients. I'm gonna go to the fridge and get my butter and my buttermilk. To make it quick, I will use the food processor, and this is similar to making pie dough. I just want to cut the butter into the dry ingredients. Just pulse it a couple times to incorporate all those ingredients and evenly distribute. Back into the bowl. All of these pieces of butter are going to get flattened out, and they're going to form little shelves between the flour, and that's what creates the layers. And I want that butter cold so it doesn't melt or dissolve into the flour. I'm going to bring it together by adding the buttermilk. I just drizzle in slowly and I kind of move around the flour with a fork to evenly distribute. You can see it's coming together into like shaggy pieces, and it looks really dry, but that's okay. I want to just knead this mixture a few times to help bring it together. And now again, working pretty quickly so that the butter doesn't have time to warm up, pat it down into a square more or less that's about 1 inch tall. Take my bench scraper or a knife and divide it into 4 equal quadrants. So just one right on top of the other. Again, the mixture looks really dry, but it's just because the flour hasn't really had a chance to hydrate. I want to roll this out into a rectangle that's, again, about 1 inch tall. Now, I'm going to do something a little controversial, which is I'm going to cut the biscuits into squares, not rounds. And I do this for a couple of reasons. One is that I don't have the scraps. If you cut rounds, you have scraps left over, and it's hard to re-roll, and you never get the same definition on the second time around. Now, just to make sure that butter is really cold, because this has been out on my bench for a little while, these will hang out in the freezer for about 10 minutes before I brush them with butter and bake them. These biscuits are pretty neutral in flavor. If you wanted to serve them sweet, you can sprinkle a little sugar on top, or if you're going savory, salt and pepper. Okay, I've done all the tops. These are ready to go into a 400-degree oven, and they bake all the way through at that temperature for about 20 minutes until the bottoms are very golden brown and the tops are light golden brown. So the water in the butter turned to steam during baking and created this great lift and rise in the biscuit, so you can see all of the layers. And I want to eat them while they're still hot, so I'm going to put just a little bit of honey and butter on these. I'm not going to mess them up. Just, yeah. Oh my god. Ugh. Really good. It's the biscuit line. You can see it was just a couple of ingredients and just a little bit of technique to make something really, really impressive and easy. So thanks for watching. I hope you make them at home. It's pretty good. No, focus on the biscuit.